Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into something most people feel but rarely talk about out loud. That strange space where she gives you just enough to stay, but never enough to feel secure. One moment she's warm, the next she's distant. One story reply, then silence, a little affection, then withdrawal. It's not confusion, it's control. And yes, she's playing games. As the mystic Khalil Gibran once wrote, "If your heart is a volcano, how shall you expect flowers to bloom in your hands?" Today you learn to put down the burning ache and walk away holding your soul intact. But here's the twist. This isn't about fighting back, it's about stepping back. Because the moment you stop reacting and start observing, the game ends. Not because you won, but because you left the board. That's called pure detachment. And in a world built on chasing, validation, and algorithm-driven attention spans, detachment is your superpower. As the great Rumi once said, don't get lost in her storm, be the calm that confuses her chaos. Think about it. In today's social media culture, everything's a performance. The perfectly timed story post, the accidental like, the delayed reply. But what happens when you stop performing? When you don't flinch? When you're not disturbed by her silence because you've made peace with your own? As Lao Tzu said, "He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty." And detachment? That's self-conquest. In this video, we'll uncover 5 quiet truths that turn the tables without saying a word. You'll learn the psychology behind emotional detachment and why your stillness is louder than her noise. You'll discover how clarity becomes magnetic and how distance, when intentional, commands more respect than any message ever could. You'll learn how your calm is more powerful than her confusion, how your silence becomes the loudest reply, and why, sometimes, the most attractive thing you can do is nothing at all. So if you're tired of feeling played and ready to play by your own rules, it starts now. Let's go start. Number 1, stop responding. Start observing. When she plays games, your first instinct is to react. Maybe you text back immediately when she replies after hours, or you post something hoping she'll see it. You think you're being strategic, but you're still in her world, still giving her energy, still letting her steer the ship. True detachment begins the moment you stop reacting and start observing. Observation creates space between her action and your response, and in that space you find your power. You begin to see patterns instead of promises. You start noticing how often her words don't match her actions. You stop interpreting silence as mystery and start understanding it as a message. When you become the observer, you rise above the emotional tug-of-war and see it for what it is, control masquerading as affection. Social media fuels the urge to respond. A story view feels like an invitation. A late-night like can seem like a breadcrumb, but the wise man doesn't chase breadcrumbs. He bakes his own bread. You become immune to games not by fighting fire with fire, but by walking away from the fire entirely. Detachment here doesn't mean you no longer care. It means you care too deeply about your peace to keep bargaining it away. You no longer chase someone who dangles affection like bait. Instead, you ground yourself in emotional clarity. You ask, what am I really feeling? What am I really tolerating? And most importantly, why am I still here? You break the cycle by creating pause. In that pause, you reclaim your worth. You learn that love isn't performance, and attention isn't affection. Detachment trains your mind to stay calm in chaos, and in that calm, the game loses its grip. because you're not trying to win her anymore. You're winning back yourself. Number 2, build inner abundance. Detachment without self-growth is just distance. True detachment blossoms when you begin to build a life so rich, so full of purpose, that her absence feels like a whisper, not a wound. The second key is building inner abundance, a state where your identity is no longer tied to how much someone else gives you, but how deeply you know yourself. When you rely on her validation to feel valuable, you're at her mercy. Every reply becomes a fix, every compliment a high. But inner abundance means you no longer crave her light, because you've found your own fire. You nourish your soul with passions, friendships, goals, and silence. The silence you used to fear becomes sacred. It's where you meet yourself. Think of a garden. If you water it daily, feed the soil, give it light, it flourishes, regardless of who passes by. Your mind and heart are no different. When you stop waiting for her to bring the rain and start cultivating your own environment, you realize you were never needy, you were just neglected. And now you're choosing nourishment. Build rituals, wake up early and move your body. Read things that challenge your thinking. Create. Reflect. Surround yourself with people who don't make you question your worth. Make peace with solitude, and it will reveal the version of you that no longer begs to be seen, because he already sees himself. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. And when your thoughts are rooted in your own growth, no one's silence can undo you. In a world obsessed with attention, being self-sufficient is revolutionary. You are no longer the man who waits for her message to feel desired. You become the man who knows his value when the phone is silent. Because when your world is full, you don't chase hers. And those changes everything. Number 3, master the art of presence. Presence is magnetic. In a world addicted to distraction, a man who is deeply present holds unmatched power. Most people live in either the past or the future, replaying memories or chasing hopes. But when you learn to live right here, right now, you become untouchable. And more importantly, you become unforgettable. When she plays games, it's often a test to see if you'll lose your center. But presence means staying grounded. You're not pulled into drama. You don't analyze her every move. You simply remain whole within yourself. As Eckhart Tolle teaches in The Power of Now, realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life. When you're present, your energy shifts. You're no longer reacting to her mood swings or cryptic texts. Instead, you meet each moment as it is. And paradoxically, that makes her more curious. Because presence creates mystery. It makes her wonder why you're not shaken, why you're not chasing, why your attention is no longer for sale. Use mindfulness as your daily training. Whether it's a quiet morning with coffee, a workout, a walk in the park, or a journalism session, immerse yourself in the task. The more rooted you are in your own experience, the less you need validation from someone else's. As Thich Nhat Hanh beautifully said, the most precious gift we can offer anyone is our attention. When mindfulness embraces those we love, they will bloom like flowers. But here's the twist. When you offer that attention to yourself first, you bloom. Presence is what silences the noise. It's what transforms your energy from reactive to radiant. And in that stillness, you start to see clearly. She's not mysterious, she's inconsistent. And you've outgrown the need to solve her. Be here now. Because the present is the only place you're truly free. And the man who masters presence doesn't just win her mind, he wins his own peace. Number 4, redefine what power looks like. Power isn't loud. It's not in ultimatums or chasing, not in proving your worth to someone who keeps you guessing. True power is quiet, stable, and deeply internal. And when she plays games, the real shift happens the moment you stop trying to prove anything at all, and instead redefine what power actually looks like for you. In our culture, power is often confused with dominance or control. We think being alpha means being loud, always winning, always one step ahead. But emotional power, real power, has a completely different flavor. It's found in restraint, in self-command, in not needing the upper hand because you're not playing the game to begin with. As Viktor E. Frankl wrote in Man's Search for Meaning, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. That is your power, to choose calm over chaos, silence over shouting, clarity over confusion. When she withholds attention or affection, hoping you'll chase, your silence becomes your stance, not to punish, but to protect your peace. When she posts something suggestive to trigger jealousy, you don't flinch, not because you're numb, but because you're aligned. You know your value, and you've redefined the terms of engagement. Power also means walking away, not out of anger, but out of alignment. It's recognizing that some games aren't worth playing, not because you're afraid to lose, but because you've realized there's nothing of value to win. A man who knows himself doesn't need chaos to feel alive. He finds his high in stability, purpose, and self-respect. This kind of power unsettles people, especially those used to manipulate with mixed signals. Your detachment doesn't just confuse her, it forces her to confront the shallowness of her own game. And sometimes, that's the greatest mirror you can hold up. Even the Stoics knew this. As Seneca once wrote, "He who is brave is free." And bravery in the emotional realm often looks like not responding to bait, not needing to fix her, decode her, or impress her. Just standing in your truth and letting your actions whisper what your ego once shouted. So, redefine power. Let it be how still you remain when everything around you wants to pull you in. Let it be how kindly you walk away when your boundaries are breached. Let it be how well you sleep at night, knowing you didn't fold to dysfunction. Power isn't found in making her want you. It's found in not needing her to. Number 5. Cultivate silence as your loudest response. Silence is often misunderstood. In a world obsessed with constant communication and social media noise, silence can feel like weakness, or worse, indifference. But silence, when wielded with intention, is your most potent weapon. It's the loudest reply to the game she's playing. Think about it. When she drops cryptic messages or plays the hot and cold game, your reaction often feeds the cycle. But silence breaks the pattern. It shifts the energy from reaction to reflection. It shows you're no longer available to be manipulated, not because you don't care, but because you respect yourself too much to engage in chaos. As Rainer Maria Rilke said, "Let everything happen to you. Beauty and terror, just keep going. No feeling is final." Silence isn't the absence of feeling. It's the presence of strength. It's your calm amid the storm, your refusal to escalate the emotional roller coaster. In today's hyper-connected world, silence speaks volumes. Social media platforms reward constant updates, reactions, and performances. The perfectly timed story, the quick scene without reply. These are all small games of power. But your deliberate silence is the ultimate boundary. It says, "I will not be played." This is not about passive avoidance. It's active self-preservation. It's the quiet rebellion of a man who refuses to be drawn into needless drama. When you cultivate silence, you create space for your mind to heal, your heart to rest, and your energy to regenerate. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche observed, the best weapon against an enemy is another enemy. But in the arena of emotional games, the best weapon is no weapon at all, just silence, patience, and the steady pulse of self-respect. Silence also creates curiosity. When you stop reacting, you become mysterious again. She wonders, why isn't he chasing? Why isn't he bothered? And the answer is simple. Your silence says you've transcended the game. You are no longer available as a player. Your silence becomes a mirror, reflecting back the emptiness of her manipulations. And in that reflection, some will choose to step up or step away. Others will try harder, but that's their choice, not your burden. Mastering silence means mastering yourself. It's about knowing when to speak and when your silence will speak louder than any words. It's about honoring your worth without needing to announce it. So when the games begin, remember this: your silence is not absence, it's presence, strong, unshakable, and loud enough to change the entire dynamic. Conclusion. Thank you for sticking with me through this journey of mastering detachment and reclaiming your power. Remember, winning her mind isn't about outplaying her with clever tactics or endless chasing. It's about winning yourself first. Detachment is not coldness, it's clarity. It's the calm in the chaos, the strength in silence, and the confidence that comes from knowing your worth beyond someone else's validation. In a world dominated by instant gratification, social media performances, and mixed signals, choosing to step back and nurture your own peace is revolutionary. As the great Lao Tzu said, "He who conquers himself is mighty." When you conquer your own need for approval, you become untouchable. If this video helped you see the power of detachment and the beauty of emotional self-mastery, don't forget to hit that like button. Share it with anyone you know who's tired of playing someone else's game and ready to play by their own rules. And if you want more content that dives deep into human psychology, relationships, and personal growth, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because the journey to your best self is just getting started. Your silence can be the loudest message you send. Your presence can be the calm that changes the game. And your peace? That's your ultimate victory. So take these truths, apply them in your life, and watch how the dynamics shift, not because you changed her, but because you changed you. Thanks again for being here. Until next time, stay strong, stay calm, and remember, your power lies within.